just want to go to my once you do.
Yep. Hey, everybody, it's Matt White coming to you live from other side of the selfie. Just need to get us going here for a second, make sure that we are live and shared and all that fun stuff. So give me 1 second here to get things rolling. I've got Sheldon Klassen, which is exciting. Thanks for coming, Sheldon. We will get you on here in just 1 second. Here we go, here we go. Nice. All right. Can I share that link? I don't know what I'll do. Let's just have people go over there. That other. Sorry about this, guys. Here we go. All right. We should be good. Well, welcome. Tonight on Other Side of the Selfie, we've got Sheldon Klassen. Sheldon is actually the, it's like co-host, I guess, of the Husbands of Unique page. You and Kai kind of share. Is that what's going on there?
You bet, my friend.
Awesome.
You know what? For all my local followers that follow me off, I got to count it down.
Yeah, I know you have your little insert.
I have to do it for all of my fans, right?
Go for it.
Woo! Let's go.
Here we are.
I love you guys. Thanks so much. Okay, say hello, Hurley.
Counting down. Awesome. Yeah, thanks, Sheldon. So Sheldon has been Sheldon's in Alberta, Canada. Is that right?
Yes, I am. I'm in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.
Edmonton, Alberta. There we go. So again, just kind of for those that may be new to the show, this is Other Side of the Selfie. The whole idea is talking about how we can support our wives in network marketing type situations. Those of us that are married or significant others, boyfriends, whatever, of the ladies in our lives, and those that have jumped into this crazy world of network marketing, multi-level marketing, and what can we do to share advice, share thoughts, share experiences. And so that's why I've got Sheldon on tonight. So I'm going to throw it over to you, Sheldon, if you want to give us just a quick kind of rundown. Who are you? Who was your wife? Tell us a little bit about your family, some of the background, and then we'll jump into this thing.
Absolutely, my friend. First of all, thank you so much for having me on. It means the world to me. I'm excited. Like I said, when I get excited, I get a little jittery, and I am a little bit here. I had to take some time and meditate just before this, but I'm just super excited to be here, share a little bit of my story. And Matt and I got together and did this a couple of weeks ago, and it was an absolute blast. So I'm looking forward to bringing that energy back today and sharing some of my story and some of my wife's story as well. So for some of you that don't know, my wife's the incredible Rebecca Klassen. She's a blue status presenter, soon to be black status presenter with our company, if not BS1 or above. And she's doing some incredible things right now. And for myself, what I do is, not only do I have the honor of supporting and being with her, but I also have the opportunity to grow and expand her network in network marketing as well as far as Facebook marketing goes as well, because that's kind of my specialty. So I'm excited to maybe share a little bit about that as well today. So
awesome. And family, you've got kids?
Family. Right? Yeah, I sure do. I got 2 beautiful children. You saw my little girl here.
Yeah, popped in a second ago.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. So 4 years old and 2 years old, a little boy that's 2 years old. So I'm a stay-at-home dad. So that gives me a lot of opportunity to be with them all the time. And I'm super blessed to be able to do that and spend that time with them. So
that's awesome. Yeah, cool. Well, tell us a little bit about your involvement in direct sales, network marketing, and your wife in particular, and how she got involved, when she got involved, and just a little bit of the kind of the story around that, if you would.
Yeah, crazy. We've always kind of been. I've definitely always had a little bit of the entrepreneurial spirit. When we first met, I was doing financial services at that time, and she never really got the direct sales or the MLMs, if you want to use that term right loosely. Sure. But we're on this selfie, so we all can talk straight, can't we, guys?
Yeah, that's right.
Right. So so the beautiful thing about it is I've always had that spirit with me, and really when we got some things happened. I got laid off 2 times in 12 months. I was in the automotive industry for 16 years. Worked my way up as a heavy equipment technician. So for those that don't know, that's a modified, glorious title for heavy duty mechanic or a diesel mechanic.
Okay.
Right. And I worked my way up into the industry and had an opportunity to go work with BMW. So I was their assistant service manager. And then I even went up and I was the service manager for Cummins Diesel. But 5 months after my dream career opportunity, they walked in and said, thanks a lot for coming out. You're no longer needed,
Wow.
So it was a challenging time in our life at that moment because we were set to go on our second honeymoon in 2 months from that time. So you can imagine trying to find another job when you're going on our second honeymoon. And it wasn't a small trip either. We had been planning for 2 years to go to Italy for a full month. So it wasn't like we were just going to go for a little bit. And we could have canceled the trip, but the day before I ended up getting a job before I left and came back, and it was great. But, 9 months later, our little girl was born, and I found myself 3 weeks afterwards going through the same thing again, being laid off altogether again. So we were looking at other direct sales companies, and we thought, maybe this is our chance. Maybe this is our opportunity to get back into the game. And, we got involved with another company. I won't say which companies those were, right? But sure. In all respect to those companies, right?
Yeah, everybody's good.
But my wife really found that it just wasn't her passion. It wasn't her niche. It wasn't really related to what she wanted to do. She was a makeup artist by trade. She's a phenomenal business leader as well. I can't talk enough about my wife, but she was really passionate about doing makeup. And so skincare didn't really match into makeup. So we made a shift, and she found the incredible Amber Voigt, and from there we ran with it, and that was three years ago now. Okay. So we're I guess a little bit just over 3 years ago now. So I might get corrected later.
Yeah. So when you said you kind of rejoined, is that so you had done some stuff before? You had been in it, she had been in it, or both of you had been in it before you joined, or she joined Unique?
No, well, we had both been in a couple of different MLM or style companies. I guess we had seen some success in them before, right? We kind of got burned in a couple of them as well, right? And you kind of get that buyer's remorse, but looking back, it's all, it's all good, guys. It's all what you put into it and what you get back out of it, right? So we just realized that, we didn't work as hard as we could have either. And but it all led us to Unique, and we fell in love with Unique pretty instantaneously. My wife was kind of like, here's what we're doing. We were both on EI at that time, remember, because my wife had just had our child 3 months, a couple months earlier. And she was, going through some postpartum stuff and typical, stay-at-home mama stuff. So I was just looking for ways to support her. And she goes, I think maybe this is a way that I can do that and kind of reunite some of that passion and some of that spark. So I was just like, yeah, let's do it. And we didn't really have the money, I'll be honest, to do it. Like, even though the investment in Unique was $99, we didn't really have the money, guys. We were both on unemployment insurance, so we both were jobless at the time, right? So for those, it's different in the States or whatnot. But man, it was tight, So it was an opportunity, and the $99 was tight. And she goes, I'm going to make it back. And sure enough, by the end of the month, she had made that back in a little bit more. And it was kind of just off to the races from there. So
awesome. So when you looked at this opportunity, I know you said you kind of fell in love with it right away, but what would you say was different about coming into this new company with Unique, and how did it affect her? How did it affect you? Just kind of what was it that made that different?
Well, I think a lot of it was, the leadership and back to the passions, right? Like she was able to work with the incredible Amber Voigt. For those that don't know, she's an amazing leader, not only in her company, but in also like other areas of her life and everything else. So we just really kind of admired her, and we kind of took after that passion. And I saw a difference in my wife just from, from not really working out before to actually kind of being aligned as far as vision and what we were actually working towards with the new makeup company and stuff like that. So for those that don't know, of course, Unique is a makeup company. So, and it was phenomenal. So.
And what kind of did you have concerns getting into something new since you'd been kind of burned a little bit before? Like what was the feeling, especially as a husband, and then you throw in unemployment in there, that certainly adds to it. But what were some of the things maybe that were going through your mind whenever she said, "Hey, this is something else." It's like, I'm going to try this one now.
Something new. You know what? It was always full belief, to be honest, right? Because I've always had that spirit, and I always believe that if you really put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything, right? So when my wife came to me and said, "You know what, Sheldon, I want to kind of jump ship," I knew we weren't aligned with our previous company, so it was easy for us to make that transition. And then as far as what it started to do with my wife and everything else, it really started to make a difference as to the way she carried herself, what she was saying to other people. And, all of a sudden that entrepreneurial drive came alive in her.
Yeah.
And it's so exciting to see, and it's so encouraging because now we challenge each other, we support each other, and that's the best feeling of it all, right?
Sure. So what are some of the things that you do? Like what give us some examples of how you support? Obviously you've got the Husbands of Unique channel, so you can tell us a little bit about that, but then what are some of the some of the pieces? Yeah, talk a little bit about that.
You know what, in our minds, like for those that don't know, Black status is one of the top statuses in our company, so it's an elite status position. And really what I started to do is I realized that very quickly it's mind shift, and it all is up here for most of it. So what I really started to do and what I started to focus on is what would a Black status husband do? And not only that, I was looking for ways that I could lead in my own house, right? Some of us feel that we can't have an opportunity to share or go make a difference, or we can't do anything because we're at home all day long. We aren't out meeting people. We aren't going out making a difference. That's a bunch of BS, right? Because now with the internet and everything else, we can make a huge difference in a very short period of time with people. And it's just a matter of coming online, going, being authentic, doing what you do, and sharing the message, right? Yeah. And live a full-time life is really my motto. So what we do is thank you very much. And what that means to me is just we want to see you live to your full potential, right? Live your dreams, whether that's in Unique, whether that's being an online marketer, whether that's whatever it is. We just want you to rise up, give it 110%, and live the life to fullest, because that's the one thing that we can never get back, guys, is time. We can get back money, we can get back resources, right? And a lot of people on here have been, forced close to bankruptcies and stuff like that. And it's scary stuff, but we can get that stuff back. But what we can never get back is time, right? Absolutely. So it's just, I challenge everyone just to give it 110%. When you do that, it's amazing what rewards come your way, how you start to feel fulfilled, and just the blessings that come your way when you start to actually, go at it with a servitude heart, when you're just wanting to do it for that person, just to empower, uplift, and validate. I love that, by the way, right?
Yeah.
And I look for ways that I can do that every single day, and I found that online was one of them. And Husbands of Unique, I was blessed enough to just have a vision to start posting in that group, and just start to really foster and start to really drive that spirit home of just that servitude. Thank you, like helping, inspiring, uplifting, right?
Tell us a little bit about that page. So for those who don't know, it's a Facebook group that is a private group that's for husbands mostly, but obviously there's a lot of the wives that are involved in it too. But tell us a little bit about that page and kind of how you see the value that's added there. And that's how we met. You and I met was through that page. So tell us a little bit about what got you in that, and then what have you seen has kind of come out of it?
Yeah, well, the first thing that, I joined a long time ago, being just a husband, right? And being supportive and just seeing what other husbands were doing, really kind of checking it out and finding. But, I found that unfortunately the group wasn't very active. It was kind of slow. There just wasn't really that little bit of spark. And I like I said, I just had that thought, that vision. And I went on my intuition that let's just start posting a little bit of value. And from there, my great friend Kai Boss, I give him lots of shout.
Mm-hmm.
He offered me to come on and be an admin on the page, and I gladly accepted. And as a result, we've just gone on that mission to, like I said, just to help husbands and help support husbands, because we know how hard this industry is, especially if wives are trying to do it alone. And in this makeup, in this like company, it sometimes feels that men do it alone, or the wives do it alone, because it's not really a guy thing.
Right, it's makeup. Right.
So I just, it's one of those ways that we just find ways to support. And it was one of the ways that we could find a way to encourage other men to do it. We started doing different challenges to start helping our wives. And we're in the middle of doing a love challenge right now. And it's just been a total blessing. And the pages reflected it as well. It's doubled in size over the last 8 weeks. And
yeah, it's awesome.
Some of the content that's being posted is just unreal, and guys coming out of the blue. And right now we're doing a love challenge for our wives, and just, the different things that people are doing just to love up on their wife right now and support them. And it's amazing, right?
Yeah,
so it's a great feeling.
Yeah, it's awesome as, coming in from the outside. So I joined probably within that last 8 weeks or so that you just talked about some of the growth kind of thing. I think my wife said, hey, you should check this group out. I started going through there, liking a few of the things, and kind of getting connected with some of the folks in there. And like I said, it is mainly husbands that post and things like that. But a lot of it is, I think the wives are in there too. And it's neat for them to be able to see their husbands being supportive, which is neat, to be able to say, hey, look at what they're doing for them, and not to compare necessarily, but just to see the support and the love and the effort that's being put out there by husbands that really do care, really do want to do it. And I think what I've noticed, and you can probably tell more specifically as an admin of the page, I love it when new people come onto the page and say, hey guys, I'm new here, but I have this question, or I don't quite know what to do with this, or what, and then you got 42 comments on, from guys that are just like, here's what you can do, here's what you can do. Even the wives that jump in and say, hey, here's what my husband does, or whatever. So I think it's really neat to then just kind of support, which again is what this whole channel is about, a little bit broader outside, obviously, of just not just unique, but the idea of network marketing and multi-level marketing is anybody that's connected with their spouse or their significant other. Yeah. So such a group, or anything, I think just that support and that encouragement and all that to be there is awesome. It's neat to have a group that's dedicated just to that. So that's really cool.
Absolutely, man. And the one thing that, the whole way I look at it as well, and the reason I'm so blessed from the page is not only do I get good relationships with you guys and stuff like that, but, I'm graced with the page because it's all servitude. It's all doing it for you guys. It's all coming from a pure heart. It's all wanting you guys to succeed 110%, right? I want to be your biggest cheerleader. And by joining that page, by doing that, it just gives us an opportunity to be able to support each other. And like I said, to give us, give me a little bit of input or whatnot on some of those thoughts. And the new people on board are the best people, right? Because they're brand new. They want to know. And I'm just so privileged that we get to be able to share with them as well. So
yeah, that's awesome.
And like I said, the relationships, like we do these one-on-ones every Monday, and Matt and I have done them before, but the relationships from it, we continue to text each other and we continue to talk back and forth. And, and we've never met. That's the crazy thing too about this internet world, is we've never had an opportunity to meet, and yet we know everything about each other. So when we actually do meet, you shake each other's hand and there's an instant bond right away, because you've already known, right? So
yeah, that's really cool. Yeah. So what are some of the challenges maybe that you guys have faced either earlier on? So for those maybe that are brand new, and then maybe now that you're 3 years into it, what do you kind of deal with now? But what are some of those kind of the harder part of this world or this business?
Well, there's definitely challenges to it, right? And you could pick on like time management. It's crazy with having 2 kids and running a full house, and both being kind of online entrepreneurs and giving each other the space and stuff like that. But I think really the biggest challenge, guys, and I'll go back to it, is all mental, right? Is all up here. It's all what you tell yourself on a daily basis. It's all what you believe moving forward. It's all absolute. Because if you knew without a shadow of a doubt, if you knew 110% that Unique or Gas or any other business that you guys might be involved in, if you knew without a shadow of a doubt that you were going to be successful, you'd be successful in it. Right. So, and that's taken me a long time to nurture, to grow, to water. And it takes constant nurturing to be able to get there. Right. But it's the mind tricks that we play on ourselves, that we aren't worthy, that it's not my time, that I don't deserve it, that I can't do it. Like, all of those things are such BS, guys, that when you really realize it, and you realize that this is the place, this is where life intended to have me, then it's just a matter of going for it and giving it your 110%, right? So
yeah.
So mind shift is absolutely the biggest key, because there was times where challenges or whatnot, there's definitely been struggle. I mentioned that we were both on unemployment insurance. We went through that actually 2 times, guys.
Yeah.
With our second child as well. So I was still at home at the time. I was still battling with trying to get the whole internet marketing thing figured out. And man, it was tough. But the beautiful thing is we're better now for it. And and let me just go back, Matt. I got to say this as well, because some of the guys haven't heard my story or whatnot. When it was tough, guys, it was really tough. I didn't feel like I was really a provider at home. There was a lot of self-doubt, limiting beliefs. I went through a big thing of depression, and it was terrible. Mm-hmm. And luckily, like I said, I was able to get out of that funk. I was able to find a great community to start hanging around with. I started working on me harder than I've ever worked before. I started shining light on some of the darkest spots in my life. And as a result, there's nothing really left to hide. And that's one of the most freeing things, is when you're able to actually look yourself back in the mirror and have 110% confidence in yourself, and the mental fortitude in yourself to be able to go, yeah, I got this. So,
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's great. And I think that, it was a crazy kind of a connection when we were on the Husband Unique page, and the interview that you and I, obviously, we kind of brought up some intimate struggles that we both kind of dealt with in our past, but how that is, I think we all have something, one thing or another, that gets us to that point. And but it's always is a something, like you said, that makes us better, makes us stronger for the tough parts that we go through. So I think that's something to not look at a challenge as something that is going to keep us down, but look as a challenge as something that's meant to be climbed over.
Absolutely, you got to look at that stuff. Champion world-class thinkers turn around and they take the sad things in their life and they turn it around. Instead of being put down or beaten from it, they actually turn around and take incredible power from it, because that's the point that they were able to get over that hurdle, to be able to take that next step, to be able to forgive, to move on. And once you're able to do that, guys, then it's incredibly freeing as well, right? So and I want to just quickly one story about mindset, guys. And it's a unique story, so it fits right in. We ran last year for Punta Cana, and for those that don't know, Unique does these incentive trips. So you hit a certain rank, you hit certain sales volume, and they spoil the what out of us. And it was one of the best vacations, if not the best vacation I've ever taken in my life. So I'm totally grateful for it.
Absolutely, I've been there. I was there too. So yeah, it's good stuff.
And I'm grateful for my wife for getting there. But here's some of it. We were pushing hard for the contest. We were pushing hard. She was doing well. May turned around and we got skunked. No points on the board. Right. June comes by. There's 2 weeks left in the program. We're halfway there. And my wife had been talking about it for 6 months with our little girl, just manifesting, talking about it, talking what we were going to do in Punta Cana, what she was going to do, how we were going to spend time by the pool. And, you know, she had kind of given up a little bit. She was really discouraged when May turned around and hit. And I was just like, you know, it's okay. And I was one of those guys to say, you know what, honey, it's okay. And she was like, no, it's not. And halfway through the month, they offered double incentive points. And my wife's like, okay, I'm doing this. And she set her mind to it. And she turned around and got 15,000 points in 2 weeks. 3,000 of those came the very last day. And we ended up qualifying for that trip at 11:58 p.m. when the cutoff was 12 p.m. So you can imagine the challenge or the tribulation that was going on in our house as a result of it. But it's just, there's the mindset, right? When you know without an absolute doubt that you are going to do it, she did it.
Right. And I think that manifesting, I love that piece, that conversation of saying it out loud, saying this is going to happen, saying, you know, telling other people this is what you're doing. And it not only, you know, for manifesting of the mindset piece, but also there's a little bit of pressure to it. Whenever you're, you know, I've done the same kind of thing. We've told my kids, hey, we're going on this vacation. And then it's, you know, once we've had to change some things, I've talked to my kids, they may say, well, we didn't get to go on that one, but we did, you know. So Hawaii hasn't happened yet. So I apologize to my kids, but we have done a lot of other trips. But once you start to tell them and you put that in front of yourself and somebody else, there becomes an accountability piece. And you're like, hey, you know, I've said that this is what I'm going to do. And so let's make it happen. So I love that mindset.
Absolutely.
Piece. Yeah.
And, you know, like the accountability piece is cool too. And, you know, for those running teams and stuff like that, I just challenge you to put out a contest or whatnot for your new people, for someone that's been in your organization for a little while, just to run hard for a certain step, right? And when you do that certain step, that you're gonna celebrate, right? And then keep you know, the leader can't just turn around and put it all back on his people and say, you know what, guys, if you hit this spot, this is what we're gonna do. No, the leader has to get in on that challenge as well. So the leader has to hit a certain point in his business. Otherwise, you know what? It doesn't win, because it's a team mentality. Everyone has to win. So everyone needs to hit the goal in order to be able to have that jubilation, to have that prize, right? So,
and that's what I think the whole mentality of this business is. I mean, it's all about, and the way that multi-level marketing, network marketing, direct sales is set up is such that you only succeed, you know, because the first of every month you start over, right? So every single month it's a brand new month and it's a brand new situation. And so to know, you know, they get so close, or they, you know, they're working so hard, and sometimes I know it from my wife's perspective. Sometimes, you know, she's like, oh, I'm working so hard, but my team is not, or boy, these team people are doing so great, but I've had a crappy month, or what, you know. But it really is when you see those successes. So she's made it to Orange. I think one time, and that time that she did it, she had some awesome, you know, some folks that hit certain things underneath her, and it was just like everything kind of came together wonderfully. And it's only possible whenever all the team kicks in. You can't have one or two, you know, just kind of decent people. You have to have everybody pitching in and everybody doing whatever they can to make it happen for everybody else. Building leaders, right? Yep.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about the positive side. Obviously, you have a trip like Punta Cana where you get to go on an incentive trip, that kind of thing. But what would you say that you've seen maybe as a change in your wife, or a change in your family life, or financially, or, you know, what are maybe some of the benefits that would pop to your head that say, hey, you know, this is absolutely something you're glad we got into?
Yeah, you know what? It's changed dramatically, right? Not only, like I said, with the gifts of like thinking differently and stuff like that, but just, you know, Punta Cana was obviously unreal. We've done some other different things, you know, our Christmas list, or our Christmas gifts have been all paid by Unique over the last couple of years. So we haven't really had to dip into our personal budget to be able to do that. You know, when we were struggling or whatnot, it put food on the table, it put diapers on, you know, because our our company got paid every 3 hours, which was pretty cool too. So you get a sale, and 3 hours later, there's commissions on your card, so you're able to go and do some shopping and stuff like that, right?
But, right.
You know, and then, you know, some of the other rewards is, and one of the ones that we take to heart are actually the people that turn around and reach back out to us and say, you know what, Sheldon, like, or you know what, Rebecca, I was sitting beside my son in the hospital, and I kept watching your get readies with me, and it brought a smile to my face, right? That's or awesome. It's people like that. It's a longtime friend from high school reaching out and saying, you know what, that live that you did the other day, it changed the way I think, and it changes what I want to do. And as a result, I'm going to go and I'm going to take a yoga class that I've wanted to do for eight years already. And I'm going to go do it. And she went to Costa Rica the very next day. She flew out, and, you know, she's pursuing her dream and her passion right now. Awesome. Right. So when people reach out and kind of tell you some of that stuff, I've had family members reach out and say, you know, what's happening? Why are you so happy? What's going on? Like,
man, what in the world are you doing smiling all the time?
Oh, dude, that's right. but by all means, like by 100% my heart, that's what it's all about. I get so touched and like I get touched when people ask me stuff like that, because it means so much to me, not only that they're asking me, but that I get to have a little bit of input on how they might move forward. And
that's awesome.
You know, a chance to lead, which is just, it's great, man. I'm blessed.
Yeah, for sure. We all are. That's awesome. Yeah. We'll kind of wrap up here. What would you say is lesson learned, like something that you would say, you know, to somebody who maybe is starting out, or somebody who's struggling a little bit, or somebody who's you know, on the fence maybe of getting involved in such a thing, or I'm a husband and my wife's been doing this for a while, but I didn't ever think about how I could or should I even help my spouse. What would you say is kind of something that you've learned that would be a, you know, kind of a nice takeaway for somebody?
Awesome. Well, for all those people that are on the fence, there's no like, get off the fence, right? Do it or don't, but don't sit on the fence, because you're just wasting time, and you're like, really, you're wasting everyone's time. Get off the fence, right? You're wasting your own time. You're wasting the person that might be able to bring you in or whatnot. Just go for it. Start, do something, right? But just don't sit there. The only way that someone can teach you how to drive a car is when that car is in motion. So you have to be in motion for someone to be able to turn around and help you, and whatever that is. But you need to take that action step. You need to be the one that makes the first move, and then people around you can support you because they know what that first move is, right? When everyone's wondering what you're doing, that's the most difficult part. So for the people sitting on the fence, get in, right?
Awesome.
Start, launch. Success loves speed.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think fear is a big piece, right? So that comes out. And when you say start, I don't know if you've read the book Start by John Acuff.
No,
it's called Start, Punch. I think it's just Start, Punch Fear in the Face, or something to that effect. But it's a great book that is about that, the whole concept of just starting, just doing it. Don't wait for it to be perfect. Launch the website, launch the business, invest the money, invest the time, but to do something and not sit around. Yeah.
Right. Taking perfect action. This 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 that I count down, that's 5 seconds of courage, guys.
Right.
So
it takes some time.
So that's what I give my crowd every time, is that 5 seconds to go, here you go. You can do it. Right. And that's a sale. That's a phone call. That's going to talk to your dream spouse. Right. For some of you guys that, you know, you don't know what can come out of some of that stuff, right?
That's awesome.
And for the husbands that the wives are in, man, talk. That's the biggest thing that I can say, because sometimes men think that they're supporting their wives and they think they're doing a hell of a job of it. Meanwhile, it's not the way that your wife wants to be supported. Right? So we try to push it on them. Meanwhile, they go, no, I don't want it. And we get offended because it's like, I'm trying to help you. Right. But all of a sudden it creates an internal conflict. So you guys just need to have open, honest communication as to what do you need in order for me to support you in this business. And then I can work on it from having that conversation to doing those things that are going to help you move your business forward. right?
That's
Not
awesome.
only is it going to move your business forward, it's also going to move your relationship forward as well. So you get kind of the double whammy off of that.
Yeah, that's
right?
a good call. Yeah,
There you
and
go,
I think open, honest communication is absolutely the key. I think any kind of challenges, any kind of thing that we've gone through, certainly both in marriage in general, but also related to this business, is you got to talk through it. If you see something that's frustrating you, or if you see something that maybe even as from either side of the table, whether it's us or whether it's the spouse, to say, hey, this is what I'm seeing, and I think either business wise, I think you could do this, or here's some ideas, but also I want to help. This is what I would like to do, but is that the right thing? Or hey, I need some me time, right? You spend too much time on your phone. Give me a little bit of attention out here. But if you just let any of that build up and you don't say things and you're not communicating and you're not answering and asking questions, it just builds up and turns into something terrible.
Absolutely. And those people that are watching from Unique, that's the reason the Husbands of Unique page was created. Some of their people, we've had some great posts on that page lately about, some great back and forths. And, I love it because everyone loved up on those guys, man. And it was just incredible feeling to watch people step out of their comfort zone, step up, be leaders of their own right. And man, I love it. Right.
That's awesome. Cool.
Great stuff.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate it, Sheldon, for joining. I want to plug a little bit of next week. Next week, Brian Kilpatrick's going to be on, a.k.a. the Y Dad.
Hey, right on.
So Mr. Y Dad, Brian will be on, so we're looking forward to that. Also, if you haven't noticed, I am drinking from my Obsessively Grateful tumbler. So this is just a little something maybe that you as husbands can jump in. I've got a side business called Rhino Shirts, RHNO shirts.com, where you can get tumblers and t-shirts that are for the husbands and all that fun stuff to be able to support. And half of every dollar that comes in goes to the Unique Foundation, which is a big part of what I try to do here at the side of the Selfie, as well as Rhino Shirts, and certainly what our wives do, everything that they do, the foundation piece. I'll put a link to that in this afterwards to make sure that everybody knows about the foundation. But so yeah, thanks, Sheldon. Really appreciate it. It was great input, great advice. Thanks for what you're doing over on the Husbands of Unique page. I hope that continues to grow, and I think the camaraderie and the team that's being built there is awesome. So really love what you guys are doing, you and Kai.
Thank you so much, guys. If you like this episode, by all means, make sure you share it with your friends. Make sure you share it with other people. I'm sure Matt's going to tell you to do the same here in a little bit. Right, I might have jumped in there, but
you're good. You're good.
But by all means, share this page, guys, because sharing is caring, and the more people that we get to touch, the more people that we get this exposure to, the more people that we can make a difference in their life, the better everyone's going to be for it, guys. So share it with your fellow Hoys, wives, share it with your husbands, right? And let's go out, create a movement, right? Create a ripple effect that we're just going to go out and help a bunch of people and create go live a full-time life.
That's awesome. I don't even have to finish. You did. You just did it for me.
Listen, I will do this, guys.
Yeah.
Find me as well. Plug in Sheldon Klassen. You can find me on Facebook. I'm on here lots, doing live stuff like that. So if you guys like what you're doing, like what you're seeing, by all means, follow us as well. And we'd love to connect with you guys. So
awesome. Yeah,
thanks,
man. Thank you. Yes. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We will see you next week, every Sunday at 8:00 p.m. on Eastern Time, right here on the other side of the Selfie. So thanks a lot. Thanks, Sheldon, again. And let us know if you have any questions or if there's anything we can do to help.
Awesome. Thanks again, Matt.
See you, man.